If you're thinking about moving to Kent, Washington, you should plan on spending about $3,500 to $5,000 a month to live comfortably as a couple. And today I'm breaking down exactly where that money goes, so there are no surprises, especially if you're retiring or downsizing. Here's what life really costs. At some point, most people look at home prices and think, okay, I can afford the house, but can I afford the lifestyle? Because the price of the home is only part of the story. Groceries, gas, utility, healthcare, and everyday spending. None of that shows up in Zillow search. So today, I'm breaking down the real cost of living in Kent, Washington, with actual monthly dollar ranges and how this looks for retirees, downsizers, and people relocating on a more predictable income. If you're new here, hi, I'm Yvonne Frank, a local real estate agent here in Kent. I help a lot of couples and retirees figure out not just where to move, but how to actually live comfortably once they get here. So let's start with the biggest expense for most people, housing. In Kent, you'll find condos, townhomes, smaller single-family homes, and larger properties, and prices vary a lot depending on location and home type. For people who are downsizing or retiring, most choose smaller homes or townhomes on purpose, not because they have to, but because it keeps life simple and predictable. Here's what housing usually looks like monthly. If you're renting a 1 to 2 bedroom apartment or townhome, is usually about $1,800 to $2,600 per month. If you're buying with a mortgage, property taxes and insurance on a condo or a smaller home, most people land around $2,200 to $3,200 per month, depending on your down payment and when you buy. Housing alone often takes up about half of your monthly budget, which is why downsizing can make such a big difference financially. Now, let's talk about utilities, because this is where the cost quietly adds up. Electricity, water, sewer, garbage, and internet combined usually run about $250 to $400 per month. Older homes and all electric homes can be higher in the winter, especially if you're home during the day, which many retirees are. Individually, these bills don't feel huge, but together they absolutely matter when you're on a fixed income. Next up, groceries. Kent is kind of in the middle. It's not cheap, but it's also not Seattle level expensive. For a couple, groceries usually run about $600 to $900 per month, depending on where you shop and how often you eat out. The good news is Kent has big box stores, local markets, and international grocery stores, so people can save money just by being flexible about where they shop. Transportation is another big piece of the budget. Kent is not a city where most people walk everywhere, so most households still have at least one car. Between gas, insurance, and basic maintenance, transportation usually run about $400 to $700 per month. Retirees who drive less tend to be on the lower end. If you're commuting daily, that number goes up. This is also why choosing the right area inside Kent is so important. Being closer to shopping and medical services can save both time and money. Now, let's talk about healthcare, because this is huge for retirees. Between insurance premiums, co-pays, prescriptions, and dental or vision, many couples spend about $300 to $700 or more per month, depending on coverage. This is one of the biggest reasons I always tell people to plan conservatively instead of assuming best case numbers. Now, for the good part, lifestyle. Coffee, lunch out, dinners with friends, gym memberships, hobbies, weekend activities. Most couples spend about $300 to $600 per month here. Kent isn't a nightlife city, but is great for parks, walking trails, local restaurants, and community events, which makes it easier to enjoy life without overspending. A lot of retirees actually like the slower pace here. So when you add all of that up, a comfortable lifestyle for a couple in Kent, Washington usually lands around $3,500 to $5,000 per month, or about $42,000 to $60,000 per year. That's not luxury living. That's living comfortably without stressing about every bill. And yes, some people spend less and some spend more, but this is a realistic planning range for retirees and downsizers I work with every day. Kent works really well for people who value space over nightlife, predictable cost over flashy living, and being close to everything without paying Seattle prices. It's not about stretching your budget, it's about building a lifestyle that fits your next chapter. If you're thinking about moving to Kent, downsizing, or planning your retirement and want to know if this actually works for your situation, book a call with me today. We'll go over your numbers, your priorities, and what areas of Kent makes the most sense for you. Honestly and without pressure. And if you're not ready for that yet, drop your questions in the comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.